Hello there, awesome developers of the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Leonard Fortune and I'm a full stack developer and passionate about creating content. So in this series, we'll be making out 100 PHP projects and I'm really excited to start this out. In today's build, Patient Zero, if you may, is a simple PHP app that records users' input and displays it back to the browser page. It should kickstart your PHP knowledge and journey and hope you enjoy it as I try to make this as clear as possible, explaining every detail. What you can do to help me out is simple, it's free. Just hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you'll always be updated when I release a new video, the remaining 99 on this series. So with that out of the way, let's get straight into the project. Username, I don't know why, by templates out there. So we're going to build this clean UI. So I have the app opened up on our local host, and I also have it opened up in VS Code, a blank version of it with nothing inside. So we're going to build this app from scratch. So guys, let's just code this out. So I'm going to do the opening PHP tags. And you know what, that's not really a good idea for now. Let's just close that up. I need this to be in HTML, that it can give me the auto suggestions, auto completions, you know, all the good stuff. So for this, I'm using something called Emmet. So if you're unfamiliar with Emmet, Emmet is just an extension for Visual Studio Code that really increases your workflow by giving you these little code snippets. Like instead of typing in HTML, I just do the exclamation thing and just hit tab and there boilerplate generated for me. If you don't have Emmet, just go ahead to your marketplace, your VS Code marketplace, and just get it. So we're going to call this PHP first app. First, we have to design the markup for the project. Let's just do PHP tags, for which we will use later in this project. Okay, so this should be pretty simple to make the markup. I'm going to do a h1 with a class of hero that will be containing our text, the one you saw displayed, like the user's name is, that's the h1. Then underneath that, we need to create a container which will have the form within it. I'm doing this so that I can use Flexbox later to, you know, align and position everything. If you are not familiar with Flexbox, there's a tutorial coming up soon, so really you should really rethink your subscribing idea. So make sure you subscribe so that you get the tutorial. The form action, you want to set this to index.php, which is the same page, and the method is going to be get. If you're not familiar with get and post, they're just methods we use to get data from a form in PHP. And inside this form, we need the input. That's where the user actually puts in data. But before that, let's put a wrapper in this, and then now do the input. So input type text, pretty simple. And then you want to set the name. Before that, let's just set the placeholder to enter the username. And as for the name, you have to really set this because that's how PHP can actually get this data. So let's just use name and make sure you master this. Whatever you have called it, the name as the name, that's exactly what you will use later in PHP to get this data. So all we have to do from now is just the second input, which will be an input type submit. That's the button that will actually be clicked. So for the same drill we did up there, create a wrapper, and within it put the input, which is an input type of submit. Its value is submit, the name is submit. Make sure to set everything to submit. You will see the importance of this once you do a lot of PHP. And the name is going to be submit as well. And that's pretty much it for the markup. Oh snap, we forgot one last detail, which is the bottom text. Let's the kind of the footer. So for this, we're going to do an h4 and give it a class of footer. And then for this, you want to do made with love, which is true. This was made with love. And then for the emoji, I'll put it in a span tag. If you're on Windows, your emojis, all you have to do is press the Windows logo on your keyboard and the period or the dot. So yeah, Windows icon and dot simultaneously, and you should have some popped up emojis. Okay, that's kind of it for the markup. Let's see how that looks. Not that good, but not that bad either. Okay, let's put something in the hero. I'm not comfortable having it empty, so let's say the user's name is blank. Let's just put some emojis in there. So the rocket and the flame. Save that, and let's refresh this. Boom, there we go. The user's name is some rockets and emojis. Okay, essentially we would have like written some CSS on an external style sheet and just linked it up, but we're not writing that much CSS, so I'm just going to pop a style tag right in here, and we're going to write our CSS on this same file. So what you want to do is do some global styling. So we're going to do a font family, sans serif, which is free. You can go ahead and import some online fonts if you'd like, but for this we're just using sans serif. Then here comes the idea of flexbox. So what flexbox ideally is just take it literally, it's a box, and within that box you may want to jam in other boxes. And to do this, you have to specify and tell the box, come on man, be flexible to other boxes. So in this box you can just set attributes like justify content center, which kind of aligns everything to the center, or justify content flex start, flex end, right, left, whichever way, justify content space between. So for this we're just going to do justify content center, which is going to center everything up, and then align items center, which will center it horizontally. So it's going to be at the complete center. Boom. So we can see the form went to the center, and that's what we wanted. Let's change this to rem actually. Okay, save that, let's refresh. Okay, that's much better. Now what you want to style is these inputs because they look horribly disgusting. So first, for the holder, let's also give it some flex powers. So let's say display flex, and justify content center. No, let's do flex direction column, and then save that. Let's see how that looks. Okay, you should have no change. Okay, but it did something, and you won't know in this. Okay, if you're smart enough, you have figured it out. Let's do the hero. So we're going to do a position of relative, and then you want to do left a lot of pixels. Let's do 30%, and then for the top just do 30 pixels. Let's save that, see how that looks. Okay, perfect. Okay, now let's style these input fields. For that, we'll just go over to holder, and then to target a particular input, we're going to use this method. Then you just pass that in there, type, because now we're going specifically to what type of input this is the input type text. And here we're going to do a height of 30 pixels. We'll do a background of transparent, and I really want to get rid of the border itself completely. So I'm going to do border none, and for the border bottom, I want that like that good line. For the outline, that's the annoying thing you get each time you click a button. So for the border bottom, I need like a really thin green line. But before we do that, let's do a font size of about 20 pixels. Now let's get to doing the border bottom. I'm just going to do 1 pixel to 2 pixels. Let's do 2 pixels, 2 pixels solid, and let's do green. Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh wow, amazing. Okay, now let's style the submit button. So let's just copy that, the entire. Okay, now let's paste that in. Okay, now let's change that to submit, and let's get to styling this. So first, let's give it some flex powers. So display flex. Okay, nope, let's do block. I'll explain what block does in a CSS tutorial, so let's not do that in here. And a height of 32 pixels. Okay, let me just explain it. Block just tells it to text the size of whatever content you write in there. So if you write hello, the button will be the size of the text in it. Hopefully that makes some sense. Let's give it a color of crimson. No, let's do white. Okay, and for the border, we're going to do 1 pixel solid black, and then the background color. For the width, what are we going to do for the width? 250 pixels. Let's do the what I've been waiting for. The outline has to go away. Now, so much styling. Background color, the one I wanted to do this time is crimson, which is the color I love the most. Okay, refresh. Wow, it almost looks the same. Okay, now all that's left to style is the footer. So let's just do a position of relative, and for the left we're going to do about 550. No, okay, 500. We calculate. I'm not that good at math, but let's do 550. Should be perfect. And for the top, let's do 50 pixels. Save that, refresh. Perfect, centered, nice. Okay, so let's get to the PHP of this. Let's get to the PHP and put some functionality to this, because currently this does nothing, and that's not what you signed up for. So for the PHP, let's change it back to PHP language. Okay, so that we get auto completion for PHP now. So what you want to do is do an if statement. We want to check if the user has clicked that submit button. So we use a function called isSet to see if the button has actually been set, and if that has happened, let's check if the submit button specifically has been clicked. So just pass in submit, and if that has happened, we want to print something out for testing this out. So let's do an else, just in case this didn't work, and if this worked, we can just do success. Let me comment that out. If this didn't work, we want to print out, let's just echo something out. Let's say, okay, let's do this. Let's just play with the user. Let's say your name sucks. Oh my goodness, why am I doing this? Your name sucks. We couldn't submit it. Okay, this is gonna hurt if you ever read this on a website. Your name sucks, so we couldn't submit it. Literally, dude, just go hang yourself. Okay, so let's do a laughing emoji, and this is painful, so let's give it some heartbreak. Okay, save that. Let's see that. Okay, continue. Okay, so it worked. That's why we don't get the message, the heartbreaking message. So let's remove that comment. Okay, so right now we could just echo this out directly, and let's say, can we say like data submitted? Okay, I don't want to. So we can just specify from the post, we can get the data we wanted. So name, we can get the name and just echo it out, and let's see what that brings us. Let's key in a name. Wow, there it is. But that's not really what we want. We want this to be within our HTML. So it's quite easy to do that in PHP. You just do the same thing you did up there within a HTML tag. So we're going to do this in the hero. So we just open up some PHP tags in here, pop them up, and we're going to do an echo the same way we did, but we're going to do something fancy called string concatenation, which allows you to combine string with other string or string with variables. It's just amazing. So all you have to do is add a dot, then we can just pass in the variable, the global variable, and the data we wanted specifically that we just got back from the form, which is the name, and then just put another dot, open up your hyphens again, and then put in our emojis because they are also string. The username is and the emojis are both string, and then just close that up. To make this presentable, let's just put this in a new line, because always remember to write good PHP code, or else you're just contributing to giving PHP a bad name. So okay, with that you can just, let's refresh this, cross your fingers, and let's see this in action, because right now we are passing dynamic data in this string, which is the user's name is the data we just got back, and some nice emojis. Okay, let's just refresh that, and you see, check my faith. Let's put in another username, mine, Fortune Langat, submitted. Wow, works perfectly. So hope you got value from this, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So let me just give you like a sneak peek into what we'll be building next, which is a PHP calculator. I think I saved it as PHP underscore calculator, I'm not sure. Okay, not it. Let's go back to our Explorer and see how I actually saved this. Let me open that up. Downloads, don't look at my downloads. Some downloads are private. Okay, so let's check in the desktop. htdocs, actually saved it as PHP. Okay, it's not an underscore, it's just a dash. So let's try that again. Localhost / PHP calculator, and that's it. Boom. So you see, now this essentially you can add the first number, second number, choose the operator, and boom, you get the answer displayed. Let's pick another 1200. Okay, let's just not do that because that's just, it's too much, just too much. Okay, let's multiply something in here, or let's look at our negative values. Boom. So this is what we're going to be building next. Hopefully if you enjoyed this, please remember to subscribe. It's what keeps me going and helps me to make better content. I'll see you guys next time. Fortune out.